stylist said you look a mess, so keep it up. Unless you want to talk about those abortions you had when you was married.
What did you say?
What did you say?
That you can't even have a kid. You could never be me, bitch.
Nobody wants to be you little hobbit.
What an episode. What has it been like sitting for all these months knowing that that was going to air?
Honestly, this was the one episode that I did not look forward to. It was the one episode where I wish that if I could not take it back, but I'm just disappointed with what truly transpired and you know, very hurt by the things that were said.
You
can't bring up abortion
stuff. Well, she tried to call me a pill popper. Hey, if you gonna dish it, be sure to take it.
That whore-ass bitch. She's a hoe.
Is there backstory there? Did she pull this out of nowhere?
Let me just always say this. It's my body and my choice. Nothing had transpired with Brit and I where, you know, I had talked to her about abortions. I had her pick me up from an abortion, you know, like it wasn't anything that happened between her and I where that was discussed ever out of any moment or time in our friendship. And it's hurtful that she would just blatantly come on national television and tell a lie, you know? I am a mother of 4 beautiful daughters. She's not a mother, you know, unfortunately. Yeah. And I have to now have that conversation with all of my daughters because it's something that was talked about on the show. And it's hurtful that someone that I once called a friend to me would take a lie and say that, you know, and almost would have people to believe them because we're friends, you know? So I'm curious to see, you know, and we never even got down to the bottom of it, why that statement was said.
Your hands are not clean in this situation either. You made...
No.
You better talk to your motherfucking roommate. You better talk to your pill popping roommate.
So cute.
Match point.
Why did that come out of your mouth?
The statement that I made, unlike hers, was very truthful. And I can back mine up and clearly she can't. So I think, you know, to be concerned about, you know, whatever, it's the truth. Tell me when you didn't put pills on the table.
Well, the pill she offered me was just a little Advil PM. I didn't get the Propofol Michael Jackson special.
How did it go to 0 to 100 in 2 drinks?
Was this fashion show fight the nail in the coffin for this friendship?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was definitely the nail in the coffin. I mean, I had showed up for Brit on so many times as a friend, right? Even with the, you know, this whole glam situation, you know, it's a lot of things that Brit did not have coming on to the season that as a friend, I didn't mind, you know, extending until she found her own. But when you are wanting every single aspect of my team, that is concerning. I take it very seriously when, you know, someone now is wanting to know everything about your life. And that to me was the red flag. So when people say that, you know, oh, she should have had a private conversation, we had all of those things. That's the part that she's not sharing. And I was definitely a friend to tell her. I was that friend that put her in different rooms that clearly she was not used to being in.
How well did you know her before the show? Because that's always kind of the question that pops up is, we're presented as if this is a long, close friendship, but sometimes that's not the reality.
Correct. Me and Brit had probably known each other for maybe close to a year, about a year. And I had seen Brit out before, you know what I mean? So it's not like she was just this foreign person, but I think sharing this platform with her, we had became close in, you know, some way, shape, or form. And I trusted her. I did. I could say that I trusted her. And I, you know, again, I poured into her is how I would expect for her to pour into me. And, you know, it's unfortunate that it wasn't reciprocated that way.
When was the last time you spoke to her?
The last time that we had had a real conversation?
Yeah.
In Grenada.
Okay, so wow, it's been since filming essentially.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When she didn't show up for me during my divorce for court, I mean, that for me was my moment where I said, this friendship is no longer of value. You know, it's no longer of purpose. It's a one-sided friendship that is something that I didn't sign up for. Like, it was so many things that people didn't realize that, you know, down from my chef, you know, she was like, oh my God, she came to my house one day and she was like, oh my God, the food was so amazing. I need to get your chef, down to my house cleaners. That's the part that became very weird to me. And that's why I'm like, well, damn, does she want my gynecologist too? You gotta be careful of these people that want your life.
I don't go anywhere without my glam squad. And Paris is my stylist. Brit doesn't have a stylist, and she has been going through it. I wanted Brit to know that she is supported, and I recommended Paris to her.
This is now your former stylist, yes?
Absolutely.
He has made some comments online that I'd love to give you the chance to respond to, kind of implying that you're a drunk, that you don't pay.
He is my former stylist for a reason. I think that coming from a person who is supposed to be a professional individual, who was paid all of their money on time for their jobs and their duties, and who actually got a lot of the amazing perks of me hiring them, from flying into first class to having a greeter at the airport as well with me. I think that they have to learn how to humble themselves. But again, to each his own. I'm not going to take part in a social media crash out with that individual. I think it's a joke. This is their 2 seconds of fame that they wanted, and that chapter is closed. On to the next.
I would imagine everything we have discussed so far is stuff you either did or wanted to get into at reunion, but we know Brit did not show up that day. What was your reaction to her bailing?
You know, I think all of us were shocked that she didn't show up. But then again, it's like, who would want to be accountable for their actions? You know what I mean? When a person that's stooped that low, who, you know, was easily manipulated and persuaded to say lies on national TV, a person who could only wear a mask for so long and then showed you their true colors, of course they didn't want to get on national TV and take accountability. You know, it's the same person who said, you know, be able to handle what you dish out, and clearly she wasn't able to dish what she handed out, you know, and she had a lot of people to answer to and a lot of things to discuss. And I don't know. I guess she couldn't handle it.
She filed this $20 million lawsuit against the network and the production company in the middle of your filming the reunion. So I'm sure you got the news somewhere in the middle of that day. When you saw that, like the 1-2 punch of she's not coming and then she's pulling this move, what did you make of that?
I mean, I can't really discuss her lawsuit. You know, that's I'm sure that's a network thing, but I mean, she didn't pay her event decorator, so are we surprised?
Not getting to hash things out with Brit aside, did you get what you needed out of reunion?
For me, I did. I was able to release all the things, have the answers and the questions, and you know, be able to speak my mind and move on. And that's what I'm happy about. I left reunion feeling like a release. You know, the weight was lifted, and I'm good.
That's
it was a great reunion for me.
I've been waiting all season since I came to Atlanta and talked to all of you and talked to Shamia. She set up that, well, the reason I don't like Brit is she said something about my daughter, which has not aired out yet. Are we gonna see that in the finale?
I think so.
To my last Brit question, is there anything you would want to say to her now to bid her adieu?
I wish her well.
Okay. From the reunion, you can't pick yourself, but who was the MVP?
Myself.
You can't pick yourself.
MVP. You know what? The MVP, I'm probably gonna give it to. Oh, that's so hard. It's so hard. I'm gonna give it. I mean, all of the ladies came and like took accountability. Everybody got out what they needed to say and handle what they needed to do. I just, you know, I can say though, Drew, I sat next to Drew and baby, she wasn't quiet that one time.
Well, so fans were very concerned about her couch seating placement because they were like, but Drew was so in the mess this season. Why is she on the end? But maybe that's so because she had to speak to everybody. She needed to be in a position where she could.
Drew did not leave anything in the dressing room. She left. She bought it all on the sofa, and I think she left it on the sofa.
Before we get to reunion, we are going to get this finale, which is going to involve a big Charles and Angela moment.
Just hold on to your panties.
Some man had a word for Angela. What? Your husband is cheating.
Get your motherfucking ass out of here.
Please stop. Am I wearing pearls?
Get him out of here.
No, leave him alone. Because they need to be clutched. You're a horrible person. How could you do something like that?
I think we know what would happen in Madison Square Garden. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Let's not take him back to that place. Because he's done a lot of work, and Angela's done a lot of work to keep him out of that space. So let's leave him to cooking and basketball. That's all I can say.
There we go. You do get to wrap this season also stepping into your next chapter because the divorce is finally finalized, yes?
Yay! I'm officially KP. Yes, I am.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing. It really does. It feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels really good. It feels like a sense of finally being able to start what true healing looks like. And it's a new story for me. That book is forever closed, and hopefully a new fairy tale awaits.
I always get a kind of a pit in my stomach for people when all the details come out because it's such a private, personal thing, but you are a public figure, so it comes with the territory. But how do you feel about people having access to that information, financials, all of that?
You know, I know what I signed up for when I did reality TV. I knew that it would be some things that would come out. I knew that it was a lot of possibilities. I am a very private person, especially when it comes to my life, especially for my children, for my girls. So hopefully one day I'll be able to show them, you know, if not even now, just showing them, even though the marriage was not the fairy tale, they do have a happy mom and a peaceful mom and a loving and supportive mom who is no longer in survival mode. And I think that's the best wish and gift that I can give to them.